Hello everybody. One of these days I'll get better at doing these videos on a more regular basis. Hopefully, I try to actually do it after every Capitals game, like Mr. Steve Dangle does for the Toronto Maple Leafs. But we'll see. Um, the main reason I wanted to talk to you about tonight is that the Capitals were involved in one of the very few trades that still happen in the NHL these days. Um, the trade rumors started flying around Twitter around noon today. Um, First, I heard that the Capitals and the Columbus Blue Jackets were involved in discussions and serious discussions, and then Puck Daddy and also Denise Chesnakov talked about it on Twitter, as well as some of the guys from Hockey Night in Canada. So it became pretty obvious that the trade rumors were had some substance to them. They were true. Finally, when it was announced, it turned out to be not as exciting as I first thought because when I first heard that Columbus was involved, obviously the first thought that came to mind was that um, we're in for Nikita Filatov, who, as you probably know, is on loan playing in the KHL for CSK Moscow and doing very well there. And actually, currently, is at the World Junior Championships with Team Russia. But eventually, what happened was that we got rid of our captain, Chris Clark, and one of our defensemen, Milan Jurcina, went to Columbus, and we got Jason Chimera back. Um, Now, I have to say that I don't really follow Columbus too closely, so I don't know that much about Chimera, but from what I've seen, is a very fast player with good size. He's also a left wing, which is what we needed because Chris Clark is a right wing who was playing on his offside in for the Capitals. Also, my personal opinion is that Chris Clark is a great person, um, but really, I have to say, not much of a player. I was very frustrated with watching him because I don't know how he scored 30 goals a few seasons ago, which his contract is actually based on because he's making about 2.5 million a year. Somehow he got 30 goals on Ovechkin's first line when Ovechkin first came to the NHL, and the Capitals are pretty bad. Uh, but these days, he's just was probably the worst forward on the Capitals. He couldn't even control passes about 75% of the time, um, let alone trying to make a pass or shoot. He couldn't get the puck off the ice. He was constantly in a state of panic, no composure whatsoever. So basically, to me, he was one of the most frustrating players in actually keeping some of our younger guys down because I think that we have probably at least 5 or 6 players, if not more, down in Hershey that are much better than Chris Clark. So I won't really, on a personal level, it's always sad to see somebody leave the team, and he was a good guy, but as a player, I wouldn't really miss him too much. I have to say. As far as Jurcina, I thought he was actually not a bad defenseman. He has good size. he can really hit, and he's gonna help Columbus definitely. But we had a surplus of defensemen. We had 9 defensemen, NHL capable defensemen right now. As you probably know, we shipped out Newlander finally to the AHL to Grand Rapids, freed up some salary cap space, and we're able to bring up Carl Alsner, who's one of the top young defensive prospects in the whole league, and he's been playing really well for us. Really settled on our defense, and we were able to keep him up. But we also have Tyler Sloan, um, and Pathia, who's out injured right now. So even without Urchino, we still have 8 defensemen. So basically, we're trying to get rid of a defenseman, save some salary cap space, which we've saved about $2 more million with this trade, which gives George McPhee more options to improve the team later on in the season. So it's been we went from having basically no salary cap space, we were right at the ceiling, to now we have a lot of space to play with, and we're already one of the best teams in the NHL. So I think, as usual, I think George McPhee has done a tremendous job here with this trade. Man is a bit of a genius in my opinion. Um, so anyway, that's it about the trade. We actually lost the game tonight to the worst team in the NHL, the Carolina Hurricanes, 6-3. I think mostly in a large um, way because of Jose Theodore, who's the next guy I personally would like to see gone. After Chris Clark, he's the other guy who frustrates me the most on the Capitals. Because if you look at his stats, even beyond the way he plays, the way his stats, uh, after this game today, he's 9-6-4 on a very good team. And just looking at the other goalies, with two rookies in goal, Varlamov and Neuvert were 15, 3-2, I believe. So that's an unbelievable difference. You really can't argue with that. Also, Varlamov is 6th in the NHL at GA and 7th in save percentage, while Theo is 37th in GA and 38th in save percentage. And they play for the same team, so I think that's all you kind of need to know. Um, anyway, I'll be back later. I'll talk about the Capitals games. I also wrote an article on the Russian Olympic team for Bleacher Report. You can find it on there if you just do a quick search. I'll post a link in my next video when I actually talk about it, and also try to cover the World Junior Championships that started a few days ago. Thanks for watching.